Hey, what's going on, team? So welcome to today's daily walk, and I want to use a real life analogy that we've all likely gone through to give you some really good evidence to put your faith into action, in business, in marriage, in your spirituality, and everything. So let's look when we were 5 years old. Mom or grandma or someone says, hey, you put this seed in the ground. My mom was a gardener. You put the seed in the ground and it's going to grow up to be a huge tree and it's going to yield fruit. And we're just like, all right. So I know what I did. I took some seed, I put it in the ground and didn't even think about it. So my faith of what mom said was just, okay, put a seed in the ground and it's going to look like that. Cool. There was no fear and there was no expectation. I wasn't like the next day like, Mom, where's the tree? Mom, where's the tree? It was just, I did what she said and that was it. Zero fear, zero expectation. And lo and behold, 6 months later, my mom's like, hey, remember that tree? There it is. I was like, oh, wow, and it's sprouted up. Then around 10 years old, we still have that faith. We get it, but we want to question things. We want to know, like, why? Hold on. I know that happens, but I need to know why. So we go to school. We learn about photosynthesis. We learn about soil. We learn about how you water the soil and how that seed works, okay? But with that knowledge comes a little bit more questioning, because now we're questioning kind of the faith. We want to learn more. That's great. Learning is growing. Asking questions is a form of growth. But our fear goes up a little bit. Well, what happens? We start saying things like, what happens if the sun disappears and it doesn't get the photosynthesis? What happens if it's flooded and then, the seed can't grow? Things that we never thought to question or doubt when we were 5 years old, they start coming in. That's cool. Our brain's evolving, but our faith is now taking a little bit of a back seat to these questions, these knowledge. And our fear goes up just a little bit because of those questions. No problem. We move on to 18 years old, okay? And now, we know that if we put a seed in the ground, we're good. We know the knowledge. We know how the photosynthesis and all that works. We now, though, are collecting a new piece of data. We're collecting evidence. So we're seeing some farmers that yield huge crops, but we're now more aware. Before it was just me, mom, brothers, sisters, and the seed. Now I'm seeing people that plant seeds, or we're seeing people that plant seeds and no crops, and they're saying, this stinks, the seed doesn't work, these crops are horrible. But then we have people over here that are like, well, these crops are good, and our brain doesn't know what to do, okay? Because now we have all this conflicting evidence. And instead of going back to our initial faith, and being like, yeah, I know it's going to work, we're going back to the knowledge, we're going back to this conflicting evidence that we have. And now it's like, okay, our faith is 33% that our crops are going to yield. Our knowledge is kind of half and half, 33%. Like, yeah, well, it can work under these circumstances, but not under these circumstances. And now we have conflicting evidence. So now our faith, it went from 100% faith that this seed is going to do what mom said it's going to do to 33% faith. So here would be the challenge that I would say to you is, are you putting your faith into action? Because or letting knowledge paralyze you, or letting evidence paralyze you. Back in the day, all we had when it was 100% faith, mom said, put the seed in the ground. I put the seed in the ground and it yielded crops. I put faith into action. I had nothing else. If she would have tried to explain photosynthesis, then who knows, to a 5-year-old, all I had was faith, and that's all I had to put into action. All right. So I'm not saying don't grow your knowledge. I'm not saying don't collect evidence, but where your focus goes, the energy and the action flows. So if you're putting your focus on people's crops that aren't making it happen, okay, that is going to damage your faith. That is going to paralyze action. If you're putting focus on evidence of maybe it will work, maybe it won't work, maybe my marriage can grow, I don't know, I got this evidence over here, maybe my business can grow, I don't know, there's this evidence in here, there's this going on. The benefit that we have of not being a seed is we are not trees, we're not fixed, okay? So guess what, if you're evidence right now, if you don't like the evidence, you're not a tree. You're not planted to stay where you're at. You can literally uproot and go find evidence and go find soil that is 10 times more conducive to your dreams and your goals. We can then go find knowledge and focus on the knowledge that says, yes, you're going to win. You're going to make this happen. But again, I would take it back and go off that faith. Back when we just went off faith, we acted, we had no expectation, and we had no fear. I want you to ponder over that. When you were a child, what were you afraid of when you were 5 years old? Nothing. You weren't afraid of what other people were going to think. All you had was faith. All you had was your mom or dad saying like, hey, they're going to love you in first grade, time in kindergarten. You didn't have any fear and you didn't have any non-action. I did what, I think I tried to jump off our house once, literally when I was 5. Thank God I had faith in my parents not to do that, when they said not to. But you get it. Think back to what life was like when you just had faith. And that's what I would challenge you to do in your marriage, in your business, in your life, in your spirituality, in all realms of life. You guys have an amazing rest of your day, rest of your week. Put your faith above your fear. Put your faith into action and see what happens.